joined by Hikaru Nakamura, who gave it a good fight today. Hikaru, a super tough task. You had to win 2 matches against Magnus today. What was it like?
Yeah, I mean, the match really came down to a couple of critical moments. I mean, I think in the first game, I just put my knight on the wrong square. And I mean, it's kind of crazy that putting the knight on the wrong square basically led to me getting a horrible position. But, you know, I put this knight on a5 instead of e7 in game 1. And then after that, I mean, it was difficult. Maybe a computer could have found some better ways to play it. But I thought that Magnus played very principled. And I mean, I just was a very clean win for him after that. You know, I think really if that's what the match came down to, I wouldn't be super upset. But obviously in game 3, Magnus gave me some chances pretty unnecessarily. And I mean, it was a little bit unfortunate that I wasn't able to win that game. I mean, I had a minute against 10 seconds and I was up the pawn and probably winning somehow in the rook and pawn ending. But I mean, Magnus defended very well. And that really was the chance. And after that, I mean, okay, I'd white in the 4th game, but really when you mess up a winning position, then it's a must win in the 4th game. It wasn't there. So yeah, it wasn't meant to be, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. And Magnus did say in the interview here that he thought you would agree that neither of you sort of showed your very best chess both today and in your match on Wednesday. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I was listening a little bit to what Magnus said. I mean, I'm trying to think of a nice way of putting this, but yeah, somehow the whole event felt very strange. I mean, it seemed like, I mean, my match against Wesley came down to 1 game. Magnus, the first match, also came down to 1 game. This match today, it came down to like 1 critical moment or 2 critical moments, both in game 1 and game 3. And yeah, somehow it seemed weird. Like it didn't feel like a normal tournament compared to say when I played in 2020 or 2021. So yeah, it was all a little bit strange for me too. Yeah, just it felt like you're kind of playing, but you're also not really playing. So yeah, I don't know what else to say really, other than it was just it all just felt a little bit weird.
Yeah, but again, I will say it has been super entertaining. And Magnus was also saying that he's very impressed with also your character, because we know you've been going through some tough things this week. Has it been a tough week for you?
Yeah, I mean, of course, but I'll talk about that another day. But, you know, I think the more important point is that, I mean, I think I can say this since I don't play every term in the world, is that, I mean, the big difference between me now and, say, the me of, like, let's just say 2014 to 2019, just to use a time period, is pretty much that I don't just give up. I find a way to keep going. And, I mean, I think in the past, very easily, I would have just gone into the 3rd game and I would have lost this game also with black, and you know the match is over very quickly. And I think that's probably the biggest thing for me, is I've found a way to just sort of keep playing, keep moving forward, and not really worrying about anything else. And I thought today was a great example. I mean, I lost the match, but to have that chance in game 3, especially after losing the first game when it all could have gone downhill, you know, I think I'm quite happy with that. I mean, again, I didn't win the match, but there were a lot of positives to take away from it. So yes, you just keep fighting, you keep trying to play well, and it's fun to play against somebody like Magnus, so I enjoy it.
Great to hear.
Hikaru, today didn't go your way, but you have so many more events coming up. As next, we're going to see from you in the Pro Chess League and Title Tuesday?
I guess something like that. I mean, I haven't even really thought about any of those things, actually. Yeah, it's very weird because, as I said, this event, it was so short somehow, and there were so many matches that I'm not trying to be rude here, but there were so many matches that felt very, very boring. Many of the games were very boring, not just mine. And so, like, I somehow, I guess I am looking forward to the Pro Chess League and Title Tuesday a little bit more, because I think everybody will take more chances too. I mean, I think when you're playing the best players in the world, for the most part, you have to be pretty solid. You can't take huge risks with black in particular. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Title Tuesday and the Pro Chess League. And yeah, we'll see what else I have, but yeah, you just take it one event at a time.
But do you think the next event will be tougher? But because we do know you will play Magnus, Wesley, and now today also Fabiano Caruana qualified for event 2.
Well, I mean, I don't have to play all of them, thankfully. That's the first thing, because I think you can only lose 2 matches. So I mean, I won't play all of them. But you know, to me, I think that's kind of that's a good thing, because if I'm being honest, I think even Magnus would probably, I'm not saying he wouldn't qualify, but I think even Magnus would have a big uphill battle trying to qualify from the qualifiers. I think if you have to play in that, there's really no guarantee for anybody that you'll make it through. I mean, we saw many great players like Nepomniachtchi, Aronian, etc., and I mean, they didn't even qualify. So I think just not having to play the qualifier is already amazing. And so like knowing that I have to like play against Magnus or Fabian or Wesley, like, yeah, I don't care. That's just it's just good that I'm in the event to begin with.
Yeah. And finally, Hikaru, I've had a competition for the experts in the studio and for the viewers today to bet the winning bid in a potential Armageddon. Now, obviously, we didn't get an Armageddon, but can I ask you, what would you have bid today if we did see an Armageddon?
I mean, just like Magnus, I'm not going to answer that. And the main reason I'm not going to answer that is because I'll say with like 99% certainty, there's going to be another Armageddon that we play in the next event or two. And honestly, I mean, you can keep bidding lower and lower, but there comes a point where you, in your mind, you know what the absolute lowest time that you can go to is. And so if you just say it, then everyone's going to know that. So, I mean, I don't have anything in mind, but I would say probably somewhere close to what I bid against Wesley.
Okay.
Something close to that.
Something close to that. Hikaru, thank you so much for giving us a lot of entertainment this week and for giving us an interview. Thank you.
No problem. See you guys soon.
See you guys.